Alright y'all, we back. And I done said this every single time I did a video and I don't even realize that I'm doing it. But yes, we are back. We are here for the first Love Island Season 3 recap. So we're going to be recapping episode 1 and 2 today. And like I said, if you haven't watched the previous video, which I don't want y'all to go watch it, please go watch the video. The cast analysis. I will be doing 2 episodes in 1 video, recapping those as we go. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do today. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, drop a comment down below. Please drop a comment down below. Please share, please like, please comment, and please subscribe. That's number 1. Subscribe. Please do that now while I'm here. Please do that. And turn the post notifications on as well. We are about to get into this review. And let's start talking Love Island. Alright, so the first little segment that we get is all of the girls are being introduced. They all come into the villa as always. Let's talk about that villa first of all. The villa is very, very nice as always. But they are now in Hawaii because last season they were in Vegas due to everything that went down with COVID. When they were filming last season, I want to say we were still kind of in the, we were definitely still kind of in the thick of COVID. So it was a lot harder for them to get them out of the country. So now with COVID restrictions kind of dialed back a little bit, and we're kind of, I ain't gonna say we're in some normalcy, but we're closer to normalcy than we were. So they're now in Hawaii. So they get the island experience and really get to have that Love Island experience. And the villa's nice. Like I said, the girls come in, they're all excited. They're just excited to be in the villa itself. And then they're excited about meeting the dudes. And as you can tell, all the girls are very, very horny, as it can be said, and as it can be seen and detected. But they're excited to meet the guys, and Ariel comes in and she sits down and she's basically talking to the girls, telling them that she's excited that they're there. She's excited for them to begin the experience. She's excited to watch. She asks them who their types are and what they look for in a dude, if they actually want to leave the villa with a guy. And for the most part, all of them did was kind of, for the most part, they all were kind of saying that they want to leave with somebody, which is the point of coming there. But if somebody said they weren't, I wouldn't be mad at it because at least you owning up to it and being real. But it gets to the point now where they are all lining up waiting for the guys. So you know they're about to do the little pickup thing to see each guy that comes up, and the girls get to step for which guy they want. So we meet the guys now. The first one out is Josh. Josh comes out, and the 3 girls that stood for him, well, the 3 girls that stepped for him was Shannon, Trina, and Kyra. And out of these 3, I was thinking he was gonna go between Shannon and Trina. But I was leaning to more towards Shannon because they just look like a Barbie and a Ken, and that's exactly who he chose. So he went over to Shannon. Next out was Corey. Corey got out here and kind of got embarrassed because nobody stepped for him. And that's a common thread that you're about to see. Nobody stepped for Corey, nobody stepped for Christian, and nobody stepped for Jeremy. I don't think nobody stepped for Jeremy. I can't remember. But for Corey, Corey picked Kyra, and Christian picked Trina. Christian and Trina, that was, I knew that was not gonna last because aesthetically on paper, Trina is, in my opinion, is easily the most beautiful girl that's on the cast. Christian is easily the most unattractive dude on the cast. It's like you got boom here and boom here. Like you knew the minute somebody else was walking out, Trina was gonna step, and that's exactly what she did. She stepped for Jeremy, and Jeremy chose her. But a couple others stepped for him, and he chose Trina. Giovanni got Olivia, and Cashay got Christian. So With that, those are the 5 couples at this moment in time. That's Josh and Shannon, Trina and Jeremy, Corey and Kyra, Christian and Cashay, Cash, and then we've got Olivia and Giovanni. So this is what the cast is for right now. They're all basically now mingling at this point, and it's kind of awkward to watch because they're awkward because they don't really know each other, but now they're trying to get to know each other, and it's just like the awkward first stages of getting to know somebody, except you watching it on TV. And they ain't wearing no clothes. So it's quite interesting. They're all having conversations. The first little section that's really focused on is Shannon and Josh. And from the gate, they seem to kind of be interested in each other. Josh is very adamant about how he feels about Shannon a little more than she is about him, which is interesting because it's going to play into the rest of this episode. But yeah, they're hitting it off so far. She says that he's typically not the type that she would go for, but she's definitely the type that he would go for. So they're hitting it off, and they're basically stating that they're probably going to be together for the duration of the show, and we'll see. Because Josh is very much a playboy, and Shannon is giving me very much playgirl. I feel like she's going to play him. It's the battle of the players at this point, because Shannon got this look to her that just looks like she could be trouble. And I think she about to rock his world. She about to rock his world, and he just don't see it coming. But it's going to be really interesting to watch. Trina and Jeremy. Trina basically is stating that she's liking Jeremy, and she's liking their energy and their vibe right now, but she doesn't want to jump too quick because typically she falls hard, and when she falls hard, that's when the dudes split, and she feels like she's being led on, and maybe she has been. I can't say that she hasn't because I don't know those relationships, but she said that she's been led on in relationships, and she doesn't want that to happen again. So she's trying to pace herself and take it slow, which is smart because I mean you are on a reality show, and some people could be doing just certain things just for certain reasons and have different ulterior motives. But yeah, just guard your heart, take your time, because you already know there's going to be a lot of different obstacles thrown at you. And there's going to be a lot of different choices as well throughout the show, because you know, Love Island, they bring on, I think there's 12 of them starting in this episode. I think it'll probably even out to about 12 more by the end of the season, maybe more than that. But yeah, there's a lot more still to come, so I wouldn't necessarily say put your eggs in one basket. As Shannon said to, well, she didn't say it to him, but she said it in her direct-to-camera interviews. So the girls are actually sitting in the makeup room, and the boys are in their dressing room, and they're each talking about their initial interactions with their couple. So they're basically just talking about certain things that they like with each one of them and what they don't. Again, and I'm talking a lot about Shannon because Shannon's been the interesting girl out of all the girls here so far. She stated like Josh is not necessarily the type that she would go for, but he's got certain qualities about him that she finds attractive. But she says she's not trying to put all her eggs in one basket. And in the other room, Josh is talking about how he's got Shannon and they're going to be rocking this thing out all the way to the end. He brought up how Trina was his second pick, and Kyra was his third pick. No, Olivia was his third pick. So it's quite interesting to hear because later on down the line, if certain things happen, we'll see where he goes. So it's going to be quite interesting to see. I'm just ready for it to get into the thick of it all because right now it's just kind of, it's not, I don't want to say it's boring, but it is kind of boring. So it gets interesting because Shannon and Josh are upstairs having a conversation, and Cash, Olivia, Giovanni, and Christian are sitting downstairs. And it's giving me very much Survivor on Love Island because they are plotting Josh. They are plotting on Josh, basically trying to figure out, letting the girls know where they stand with him. So I think it was Giovanni, is it Giovanni or Christian? One of them said that Josh said his top 3 are Shannon, Trina, and Kyra. And there's Cash and Olivia sitting there, and they're basically taking it all in. And it's kind of like, okay, well, we need to be watching him because he might try and sway if need be. So I found that quite interesting because it's like they playing the game at this point. Like you hear, like subsurface level, you're supposed to be here for love, but it's still a game at the end of the day too because there's still money, and you still at the end of the day can choose whether or not you want to split the money or not. I just found that interesting. So Shannon and Josh are having this conversation, and Josh is looking at Shannon like he is ready to undress her right now with his eyes, and she's looking at him like, you can tell she's got something going on in her brain. She's cooking, like she feels him, but she doesn't want to put all her eggs in his basket. Like you can tell she's playing it right. She's playing it the way you should play it, and she's playing it the way most dudes typically play it. She's not trying to put all her eggs in one basket, and he's ready. He's ready for her. Like he's looking at her like, you are mine. And she's throwing these subliminals like, I like you, but I'm not there with it right now. I'm not trying to completely be locked in with you right now. And he's ready to be locked in. And it's funny because she's in her confessional saying like she's not going to give it to him all the way, and he's in his confessional saying like they are locked. And it's so funny. It is so funny to me. So they're now doing the suck and blow. They're doing the suck and blow game where they basically just challenge to do certain things like Giovanni is challenged to basically turn somebody on without touching them, and he gives Olivia a lap dance. Josh is basically told that he needs to kiss the 3 girls that he thinks is the most attractive ones in the house. He kisses Shannon, he kisses Trina, and he kisses Olivia. And then Christian gets basically like have a passionate kiss with the sexiest girl in the house to you. And instead of going to Cashay, who he is linked with, he goes straight to Olivia. And I'm like, okay, that's some shade right there. Which possibly could play into effect later on in the game. But yeah, for the most part, that's cool. But then we get the introduction of Will, and we get the introduction of Cinco. And these 2 dudes come in, and Shannon is like, ooh, some new meat. And the rest of the girls are too. They're excited because, I mean, it's like, when you see somebody different, especially if you, during COVID, you really want to see what other options are out there. Especially, I mean, just being in the house now, you see the 5 options that you currently have, and then you see 2 new options coming in. Okay, well, let me go see what they're about. So that's where we're at right now. And yeah, we're about to see. And then they basically tell them at the end of the game that 2 boys are going to be picking from the girls that are currently coupled up, which will then leave 2 dudes vulnerable at the couple up. So that'll be interesting to see as well. All right, y'all, so we are into episode 2. Episode 2 of Love Island. We're starting off the scenes where they're basically sitting down. It's a group of them all together, and they're just sitting there talking to the new dudes, Cinco and Will. And the girls straight off the gate are pretty much letting it be known that they are not trying to stay with their couple ups right now. Olivia straight up, flat out said like, Giovanni is not for me. We can be friends, but I'm trying to get fucked at this point. That's basically what she said. And she basically said she's just trying to jump somebody's bones, and she don't see it for him. And it's funny because they're all walking around, and the guys are basically kind of like gung-ho about their girls. And then the girls is like, I'm not here for it, because you got Shannon, you got Trina, and you got Cash in the dressing room, and they are jumping around excited because Cinco and Will's there. And Shannon is already talking about Will, Trina, and Cashay are talking about Cinco. They all trying to jump away from their couple up. So it's really funny, and it's interesting to see how the dudes are more clingy this season, and the girls are the ones that are playing like the dudes typically do. So it's really interesting, and it's refreshing to see. Truthfully, it's going to be a very messy season. I can already feel it. All right, so now we're getting a little interesting. I love when they play the game. So they playing this game where basically it's guys versus girls. They got to uncover a truth about each other, a naughty truth, such as like Shannon, who is accepting $7,000 in gifts from her sugar daddy. I love these type of competitions because it shows that these people got some shit in their bags that they haven't necessarily wanted to tell them, but now that it's out, they have to now explain it. And it's funny because a couple of these girls was showing out. Shannon was showing out. Kyra was showing out. Actually, all of them were showing out. Every last one of them girls was taking advantage of Will and Cinco. When they came out there, they was not playing, and Will was getting him some. Will was getting him some. All them girls wanted a piece of Will, and they was getting it. Josh wasn't looking too happy about it, because Shannon was one of the girls that was all up on Will. Kyra was on them. Giovanni and Cash, that they had a little moment, and I can see them starting to spark up and go somewhere with that. Who else? Cinco and Trina. I saw that coming too, and they got a little spark going on too, and I like that too. I can see that going somewhere. But Will got a fight on his hands between Kyra and Shannon. And Josh is looking like Josh might be here and get dumped off this island. Either him or Corey. It's one of the two of them, but I don't know. If it comes down to the two of them, well, no, actually, because it's two. It's two. Okay, I just remembered, because it's 6 guys and 5. It's 6 guys. It's 7 guys and 5 girls. So if the girls are picking at the official elimination, because the one at the end of this episode, if we get to that part, will be the 2 singles snatching one of the girls, which leaves the 2 dudes vulnerable going into the elimination. So, and I believe the girls picked during the elimination, so it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. But we see some connections happening, some new connections, which is going to shake stuff up, and I'm excited to see where this is about to go. Follow me on Twitter, man. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram too while you're at it. I'm tweeting. If you was wondering what I was laughing at, I'm tweeting online. Follow me on Twitter, like I said. LESHAWN with, I think it's 4 N's at the end. Yeah, 4 N's at the end. Follow me there. Follow me on Instagram, G2Es, LESHAWN, 3 N's. But yeah, people on Twitter be cracking, and we cracking about this show. But it's funny because we get back to the end after that little competition, and they're all talking about their little kisses and stuff. And Kyra is feeling Will, and Will is feeling Kyra. So that's kind of looking like a pair, even though Shannon is now sitting here thinking like she didn't know about Will, but then when she kissed him, she's like, okay, yeah, that was something. And she's sitting there thinking that Will wants her. Will don't want her. Will wants Kyra. And then Cinco and Trina, they are starting to hit it off. And yeah, I mean, they sitting there having conversations and stuff. Cinco was like, I want to tell you flat off the gate, like, you were definitely my number one. I don't want to say too much to blow your head up, but Trina's like, come on, bring it on. Definitely see that happening. And Shannon is just messy, man. Shannon is messy. She got mess written all over her. You just look at her and you can tell she is going to be a character. You know, they got for the challenge. They pick from Big Brother, they pick from Survivor, they pick from Love Island. She's looking like a front runner to get on there because she's very entertaining. I think she's definitely the most entertaining girl on this season so far. Probably the most entertaining cast member so far on this season. I feel like she's going to get real messy real soon. But yeah, here we go. So now we get Trina and Jeremy sitting down. Jeremy was taken aback by the connection that she and Cinco got going on. And she basically was like, I'm trying to fill it out. I'm not trying to, and she told him flat out, like, I'm not trying to put all my eggs in one basket. I still want to see what's up with me and you. But in her straight direct to camera, she was saying like Cinco's what she typically would go for, and she's got a good connection with him, but she thinks that Jeremy's amazing and he's a good dude, and she's just shocked that she has all these options. But it's odd because looking at her, you wouldn't think that she wouldn't have any options to choose from, but then again, that voice too, that voice could be the reason why she might not have too many options to choose from in the past. But yeah, she's trying to figure out what's going on with that. So that's going to be an interesting one to see when the couple ups come, because I feel like the girls are going to be picking. So she would have Cinco and she would have Jeremy. And then we move on to Kyra and Corey. Kyra and Corey are sitting there having a conversation. And Corey's not in the dark. Corey knows that Kyra is feeling Will more than she's feeling him. And she flat out tells him straight up like, yeah, I'm feeling Will. And he's like, and his direct to camera is like, he said if he feels like It definitely hurts him, but he doesn't want to step in the way of her and Will, which is respectable, and I respect that. He's probably a little nervous, thinking that, okay, that's one of my connections that I could have had, and now I have to try and figure out another connection because she's clearly not, she's got her eyes somewhere else. And Will, as I said, I thought Will didn't have no feelings for Shannon, but he said to Shannon that he was feeling her too, but he told her that he's definitely got a connection with Kyra too, so he's basically wavering between the two of them as well, because he says Shannon is typically the type that he would go for, and then he's got Kyra where they've got this strong connection. And you know what? Another fun, different kind of interesting idea is Cinco and Cash. He said that he was really vibing with her. He was really liking her energy. He was liking what their conversation was, and he's really feeling her too. And it's going to be interesting to see who he chooses at the end of the episode, because, you know, Will and Cinco are going to make a choice tonight, and they're going to snatch one of them girls. So Will could either snatch either Kyra or Shannon, and Cinco could snatch either Cashay or Trina. It's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens. We are moving towards the ceremony, at least the picking, the couple of, and so they're all just pretty much having their last minute runarounds, and Josh is now talking to Will because he now is noticing that Will is taking a liking to Shannon, and he's basically trying to say but not say, like, Shannon will still be here if you choose Kyra, because you still got another option. Don't touch my girl. Like, leave her right here with me because I'm trying to stay with her. Josh is very much head over heels for Shannon. He's probably, out of all the people in the house, he's the one that's the most smitten about Shannon, and anybody else is smitten about anybody else in the house. And I think that's very, very funny, because looking at his videos coming into the show, he's Mr. Player. He said he don't want nobody that's clingy, and he typically runs from the girls that are clingy. You are literally looking like a stage 5 clinger up on Shannon, and Shannon is not really with him the way he's with her. He keeps saying, like, in their conversations and stuff, that they right here, like, they got this deep connection. He loves saying that they have a deeper connection than she has with anybody else, but you just don't realize it. But Shannon is about to drop your ass soon. The minute somebody walk up in here that's worth her, Will done walked in there. She kind of is wavering if she wants to go with Will. But trust and believe, if somebody walk up in here in the next couple weeks, she gonna be over him. But and then Cashay and Cinco have another conversation, and this conversation was probably the most organic conversation that I've seen so far. It was not forced at all. Like, they were just having just a genuine conversation, and he was being straightforward. Like, he's a little confused with what to choose in terms of her or Trina, because he feels like he's having good conversations and good connections with both of them. And let's talk about this too. We got 3 dark-skinned black people on the show. That don't really happen like that. We got, like, a dark-skinned person in Justine last season, but we got 3 of them this season in Cinco, Trina, and Cashay. And then we got a black man that's on the show that actually is interested in the 2 black women. That don't necessarily happen on these shows. So it's very refreshing to see, and I'm excited about it too. But we about to see who they about to pick. I feel so all over the place. Hopefully these next reviews will be a little bit more structured. But so we get to the pick, and 2 dudes, Cinco and Will, are gonna make their picks, and Will chose Kyra and Cinco chose Cashay, which leaves Corey and Christian as the 2 singles that are now vulnerable, which I kind of expected. The 2 of them are the 2 that haven't really made too much of a connection with anybody on the show. And they're the 2, Corey's kind of awkward. Christian's just not, he don't look like he belongs. And Corey, in a way, don't look like he belongs either, because he's kind of, like I said, he's kind of awkward and kind of off. So I think these 2 are definitely the 2 that are looking like they might be the first 2 jumped off the island. But tomorrow, see, that's the thing. We got all these episodes every single day. But tomorrow, there is a new girl that's coming. She is waiting for Josh. So that's going to start some interesting stuff, because especially that look that Shannon got at the end of that episode, it's going to be very interesting. And then it looks like Jeremy and Trina are going on a date. Trina is seeming like she's ready to go ahead and be in a relationship with him, and he seems like he might have cold feet, which is very interesting because that just flipped completely, because she was kind of feeling Cinco but still trying to waver her options, but now she's all in on Jeremy, and Jeremy is now getting cold feet. So it's gonna be very interesting to see. Tomorrow it happens. You won't see me tomorrow for this. You probably see me on Saturday, but Saturday you'll see me, and then Sunday you'll see me twice for Baddies ATL. That is back. Speaking of Baddies ATL, this is getting interesting, because if you ain't been following the social media, you know I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna save this for the review on Sunday, because they filming a reunion right now, and there's been some shit that was dropped that is very, very interesting. So, and I feel like this is about to set the tone for the reunion, but we'll talk about that on Sunday. Big Brother comes back on Sunday. You'll see me there again. Go ahead and watch the Big Brother review that I did yesterday. Go ahead and watch that, run that up. Drop some comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. And yeah, share this thing. Let's keep those subscribers rolling in, and I will check with y'all on Saturday. Peace.